your song that was coming out and the tie-in with the movie, and that's how kind of you came on board. If you could
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, obviously, this is the first time I ever partnered in a movie like this. It's not my space right now, my world, but I love it. I love everything that's happening right now, right? With
Hmm.
and with faith and content and people coming, really longing for it, and really the opportunity to share the love of God, share the good news in this way, and it's being done in such an excellent way, such a great way, right? And I think you see that in this movie. Well, so obviously I approached this from the music side, connected with the team, all the production team. They're like, "Do you have a song that would fit with this movie? Do you have a song that would work with it?" It's like, well, I've got this song that I wrote maybe a month or two ago that I have not played for anybody, but I've got this demo I'd love to play for you. They're like, "Okay, let's go. Let's hear it." So I played it, and they were like, "This is perfect. This is like the perfect song for this." And I'd written this song with some friends, and it's called "No Greater Love," and it's after the John 15 passage of "There's no greater love than this." And man would lay down his life for his friends, right? And we've written this song about the love of Jesus, the sacrifice of Jesus, coming from heaven, leaving glory, leaving that crown for a crown of thorns, and just just that sacrifice of Jesus. And when it if you watch this film as you have, and then you hear this song coming up on the end credits, you will think that I just watched the film and then grab my pen and go, okay, I'm just going to write from that. But the
Right.
crazy thing is I had nothing, I didn't know about the film when I was writing the song. So it was just one of those moments. I say that to say there's just one of those moments where I felt like God was a little God wink of like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
putting all this together. You don't even know
Right. Yeah.
it. And so the partnership worked so beautifully. And I was like, well, I'd love to be involved in any way you guys can help. I can. And they're like, well, can we come on and have a partnership together and let's help get this to the world, this message to the world. And so I was like, I'm in. So this has been fun for me. This is something that's very different. And I love this kind of coming into this space and being a part of it that way.
Right. Well, I think it's great that you're on board. It's a, we've seen the depiction of a Last Supper a lot of times.
Right.
I think what makes this movie unique is the emphasis on Judas's temptation, and and even the temptation when it comes to Peter.
Right.
There's a creative license there, but it was not. I've told people this before because especially when you have a movie that has some darkness in it, and this one does. This is probably closer to what we grew up thinking it was like,
Yes.
because I grew up with the flannel graphs. It was all kind of, two dimensional, the story, the last week, the Passion Week. And
Yeah.
so when you see something that's a little dark and it shows human nature, I think that's a little bit more toward what it probably really was like, just the
Has,
fear and anxiety.
has to be right. And you hit on it that this one of the things that grabbed me instantly was how it was unique through really the eyes of Peter and Judas. Jesus is obviously in the story, but in this movie, he's not the central of the thing. It's
Right.
really you see the wrestling of Judas and Peter, and powerful, right? And what's amazing is, and I think probably I'd love to know if some of your congregation felt this, but I was just like, they're on the marketing of the movie. There's this beautiful line that says all are welcome at the table. And I think the message of that is so powerful because of Jesus standing there, right? In that moment, breaking the bread, taking the wine, said, "This is why I came." He's looking at his friends, right? That are still trying to figure this out. And it's like, "This is why I came. I'm going to be broken, but my blood's going to be spilled. And I'm doing this for you." And when he's saying that, he knows that one is going to betray him,
Right.
one's going to deny him. And how much do we put ourselves there? I mean, I feel like that, like Peter, right? The movie so beautifully. I think the Peter character is incredible because he's like Jesus. He loves Jesus so much. He's the bodyguard of Jesus. No one's going to mess with you, and I'm going to fight to the death with you. I'm following you to the death. And then an hour later, a little girl's like, aren't you with him? He's like, no, 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 not me. And
Right.
I mean, how much am I like that? And I think in
Yeah.
my own life in so many ways. And so it's beautiful that picture to me, and I hope that people really sense that when they watch that. That's my takeaway. Of the people takeaway is that, wow, all are welcome here. That Jesus did this. That He knows. None of us have it all together. It's not like you got to get it together to get to the table, right?
Right.
The table's already filled with people who are completely messed up
Right.
and struggling with so many things. And so I think there's so many elements in that this brings out. and that it is titled The Last Supper was very fascinating to me, because when you think of the movie, when you think of Jesus, you think of the cross, the resurrection, the birth. If you're making a film, right? And so to focus on this and focus leading up to that and all that it means is powerful.
Well, the Last Supper really, to me, is more community than all those other events, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Crucifixion's about Jesus, resurrection's, about Jesus, even though they were characters, but the Last Supper is everyone together and
Yeah.
what his impact on everybody at that table.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, it's just, I can't wait for people to see it.
Awesome. Um, what after Last Supper, you got anything rolling out music wise?
I do actually. I've got this song on the film, and I'm working on a new record right now, and I'm really excited about it. And I've also got a song coming out in April that it's a project. It's random because it's part of a documentary. It's a project, another project as well, called The First Hymn. That you're going to hear a lot about, hopefully.
Oh,
And
cool.
earliest known earliest known hymn. It's a piece of a hymn ever discovered, and it is from the 200s. And obviously, you have the Psalms, you have the songs of the Bible, but other than that, this is the earliest known that we have. This predates the doxology by about 300 years, and it's incredible. And it's they're making this documentary on these beautiful lyrics, and they asked me and a friend of mine if we would take this piece of lyric, which it's not all there because it was just a piece of paper that was torn that they found that had part of the hymn on it with notation. It had musical notation, which I don't even know how. Like I can't even understand the musical notation back then. It doesn't make any sense to me. But 200, but from the 200s, and so we're bringing the hymn back. We wrote a new version of it. It's called The First Hymn. So that's something we've been working on, and new music as well, a whole new record.
Well, I can't remember when Indescribable happened. I can't remember what year that was, but it's probably 20
2004,
years ago, right?
2021 years ago.
So I interviewed you at Gospel Music Week for that.
Wow.
It was in the throes of Gospel Music Week. CCM was, all the thing. And then you came out as a CCM artist, right? But you had these worshipful songs. And now the industry, in most opinions, has completely changed to worship driven songs.
100%.
So, it's amazing to me that that you were part of that. You were not giving you credit, but the Lord,
Yeah,
moving through the songs that resonated with people, and just had the whole industry did a 180 on it.
it's incredible.
So it was kind of funny that when I look back at
Yeah,
Indescribable, it's like here's a new artist, he's got this song, and he's written a few things or whatever, and we meet up, and then now all these years later, everybody is doing the kind of music that you were doing back then. So
yeah. I love you said that. I tried two records before that to get I was knocking the doors down, and I had
yeah,
and radios like, we don't play this music. This is not. This is Sunday praise
yeah,
mornings, and our Sunday praise show, and finally, that was my third record, Indescribable, and I'd already had I'd sent Forever, The Wonderful Cross, Enough, some of these songs, and that now people sing a lot, but at
right.
that time they were like, "No, this isn't." So I was always trying to knock on the door. So I love that you remember that.
Yeah. You had it was an imprint. Was it Six Steps or was
Six
it?
steps. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I'm just
good
giving my
memory.
memory a little pop quiz this
Good
morning.
memory. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was cool, and we haven't aged a bit, so that's also awesome.
look exactly the same.
Well, hey, it's it's great talking to you. I know you stay busy and
Yeah, great
appreciate what
talking to you
you're
as well.
and the songs. Like I mentioned, the Rock the Universe was special, but there are there are certain songs that hit you at the right time.
Mm,
We were going through a family trial, and God of Angel Armies, even when I hear that song, I think about that time in our
mm,
life and singing, you're faithful when you really were trying to convince yourself that he is faithful.
oh,
You're singing it as a testimony, not as you're singing it in faith, really.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Thank you, man. Yeah, those are special songs, and that's special songs for me too. So I appreciate you saying that.
yeah. Well, keep up the good work. Thank you, Corby, for connecting us. It's a blessing to talk to you today.